Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. I know this is going to be a long one for sure, like every single video that we do here. Because the amount of words I have on the script here, freaking insane. But we got a new location here. It's like the first time here, it's not a bad background. It's just a Reddit background. My room's a little bit better. The freaking background is probably better than this, but who does not love like a full color background? Just ignore the roof. Just only focus on the color, right? But today we are talking about how the shootings and mass shootings have been becoming like more and more massive and have been on the news every single year. How it's going to keep increasing every single year. So here's the thing. I personally want to talk about this because last week in Baltimore, I live in Maryland, but I live outside of Baltimore. I live in a different city. But in Baltimore, in West Baltimore, this mass shooting, major shooting, I said in the script, led to some kids dying and other people going to hospital. For Baltimore people who they might know about this, but the people who don't know about this will probably listen to media and like another state. This is the mass shooting during the Brooklyn Day in West Baltimore or Southwest Baltimore. Either way you can go around. 16 days after the mass shooting in Brooklyn, which is not Brooklyn, New York, the city in Baltimore, Brooklyn. City officials gathered on Thursday to discuss what unfolded on July 1st. City council members were accompanied by members of the Baltimore Police Department, the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement, the Housing Authority of Baltimore City, and the Department of Transportation. Interim Police Commissioner Richard Worley began the hearing by addressing the actions of the police department that day. We should have been actively working to find out when Brooklyn Day was, Worley said. It was going to happen this year. It's happened 27 years in a row. There was no reason not to happen this year. According to Worley, 3 sergeants and 17 officers began working that night at 3 p.m. Dispatchers received the calls for service concerning the event beginning around 9:30 p.m. Some of those calls were coded as no officer response. Police requested the department's helicopter over the area around 10:30. City Council President Nick Mosby explained that the police response to the crowd at the Brooklyn Day event didn't seem to compare to police response if the event had occurred in other communities, such as Federal Hill or Fells Point. Council members questioned the police department's awareness of the Brooklyn Day event. Councilwoman Felicia Porter said she was able to find the event on IG or Instagram. Clearly, there is not enough of a relationship being built between police and the community, said Councilman Zeke Cohen. Someone would have said we need to have the event staffed by officers. Burley explained the department has a team dedicated to monitoring social media for events, but wasn't aware of the Brooklyn Day event. Councilwoman Odidi Ramos called for an external evaluation, I said it wrong, of the police department, rather than an internal investigation. Burley responded that he would be willing to participate in that evaluation. Police are expected to release a full internal report, including who knew what and when, and protocol changes that could ensure better real-time communication. When I looked up the definition of shootings and mass shootings, they were both completely different. When I looked up shootings, it just said the action of practice of shooting with a gun. But for mass shootings, I couldn't find a definition for that. But there's many other definitions for it. When I checked on websites, mass shootings meant when 4 or more people die. Or mass shootings could also mean active shooter incident. Now I want to take a flashback all the way back to 2018. I used to be in a shooting event or an active shooter incident, but not a mass shooting. It wasn't a mass shooting, and here's the thing: no one was killed during it, which is the most surprising. While I was in class in elementary school, we were ordered to get into a lockdown drill, which you don't know what that is if you haven't even done a lockdown drill yet. You've been in like a safe city with no people with armed weapons. It's when a person that has an armed weapon is getting close to like a school or somewhere else, and where was I at? I was trying to figure out where was that. I literally got a call. While I was in class, we were ordered to get into a lockdown drill book. So when a person that has an armed weapon and is getting close to the school, we have to be on lockdown to make sure the stranger doesn't see us, through the windows if he gets into the school, and doesn't see us through outside the windows that you can see outside, to make sure he doesn't end our lives here. While the lockdown drill was happening, I was wondering why it was taking forever. We were 5 minutes in, then 10 minutes. It's been taking hours, or maybe minutes. Until then, I heard vehicles and then a helicopter. Actually, it looked like it was a real lockdown. Now we were in lockdown for like hours. We were also served pizza for dinner. I can't believe I remember the pizza that we ate. It was Little Caesars. But the kids were finally let loose, and by the power of God, no one was injured or dead except for one Baltimore County officer, which we actually made rocks for the officer, so that was good. But let's look at what a local news channel said about this incident, and it's been way back. It's been now 5 years since it happened. So let's look at this. Instead of washing up, getting homework done, and filling their bellies, parents were left waiting and watching for hours. And look, it literally just took hours. If we were to eat pizza, it took so many hours. As the streets filled up with police, their minds filled with worry. A 4-year veteran of the Baltimore County Police Department was killed in her neighborhood, and at least one armed and dangerous suspect is on the loose. He's not on the loose anymore. He was captured, but it was way back in 2018. Now here's the thing. I remember the video, like the police video. Here's the thing. She wasn't shot. She got ran over by the suspect. So after a 12-hour day at school, the family could finally walk home together. Here's some quotes. At first we thought, okay, whatever. Maybe we'll stay another 20 minutes, and then it goes at 4 o'clock, 5, 6. Everybody's I want to go home. I wonder if my parents are thinking everybody's scared. Said a Gunpowder Elementary School student. A Baltimore County police officer killed in their neighborhood. 3 schools put on alert. It was terrible. I wanted to just go there and pull them out. But they said nobody could go in. I just wanted to hug them and tell them everything's okay, said a mother of a student. The female officer responding to a suspicious vehicle was clearly injured after a confrontation with someone in a black Jeep, which might have been a veteran, maybe. She was just 2 months away from celebrating her 4th year with the department. She was rushed to a nearby hospital where she died. That set off a massive manhunt across Perry Hall. The only thing you saw going... Yeah, I said it right. The only thing you saw going by were police officers unmarked and marked, said a grandmother. Police said the first call was for a robbery in progress. While police covered the area, parents got pictures like these of their students weighing out the danger. They made me feel a lot better, knowing that I could see them smiling and coloring and being a kindergartner, said a parent. And in Clive, the first responders left the hospital, a loss for the entire county, while the people they serve are thankful for the sacrifice they make. If there was none in there, it was just kind of more scary than it even was in the first place. It was still scary, but it's better to know that there's police officers walking around. They can protect you, and it's not as bad. Police haven't said if the officer was shot or run over, and said they won't until they perform an autopsy. But after all of the things about Maryland and all this mass shooting stuff on the flashback, let's talk about the U.S. Because right now, there's a huge increase in the U.S. when it comes to shootings and mass shootings. While I was looking up all the evidence and facts, I found 17 facts about gun violence and school shootings. First, each day, 12 children die from gun violence in America. Another 32 are shot and injured. Lots of people, and that really is per day. Guns are the leading cause of death among American children and teens. 1 out of 10 gun deaths are aged 19 or younger. Really sad. In fact, firearm deaths occur at a rate more than 5 times higher than drownings. Okay, oh man. Since Columbine in 1999, more than 338,000 students in the U.S. have experienced gun violence at school. There were more school shootings in 2022, which was 46, than in any year since Columbine. This mirrored America's border rise in gun violence as it emerged from the pandemic. However, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security research shows that if we know the signs of gun violence, we can prevent it, and reverse the trend. In 2022, 34 students and adults died while more than 43,000 children were exposed to gunfire at school. There is help for victims and survivors of gun violence. An estimated 4.6 million American children live in a home where at least one gun is kept, loaded, and unlocked. These improperly stored weapons have contributed to school shootings, suicides, and the deaths of family members, including infants and toddlers. Nearly half of all parents with a weapon in the home wrongly believe their children don't know where a gun is stored. Safe storage of firearms prevents tragedies. In 4 out of 5 school shootings, at least one other person had knowledge of the attacker's plan but failed to report it. In a comprehensive school shooting study, the Secret Service and Department of Education found that 93% of school shooters planned the attack in advance. It looks like they planned it all up. When people see these signs and get help, we can end school shootings. Almost all mass school shooters share threatening or concerning messages or images. More than 75% raised concern from others prior to the attacks. Bystanders saw warning signs in most documented active shooter cases. Truly, you can prevent school shootings when you know the signs. Children living in poverty, urban and rural, are more likely to die due to gun violence than their more affluent peers. About 1 out of 5 gay and lesbian youth have been threatened or injured with a weapon on school property. Black youth are 4 times more likely to be killed with guns than their white peers. Children of color are far more likely to experience campus gun violence. And right now, my sister is literally going to college. Oh boy. Oh my god. I'm trying to jinx the system here. It's more than twice as much for Hispanic students and over 3 times as much for black students. The majority of individuals with let me restart that. The majority of the individuals with diagnosed mental illness do not engage in violence against others. And lastly, for these 17 facts, it must be remembered that 90% of teenagers killed in an act of dating violence were girls. With all them facts out of the way, let's move on to statistics. Finally, I love me some statistics. I always love math, but not geometry though. I don't like geometry. When you look at the statistic, it just looks wrong, which I'm showing right here. The U.S. has been having more mass shootings than days this year, which just looks actually disgusting. I might throw up. Because how in the heck could you have more shootings than years? That is actually insane. So far this year, there have been 263 mass shootings, which means incidents with 4 or more people shot reported in the U.S. And keep this in mind, and I still have this up right here, that message or evidence I did, this was posted back in May 30th. Here's another fact that is also just so wrong on so many levels, and this was posted back on May 2nd. Have we ever seen 13,900 people being killed in gun violence? Absolutely not. I have never seen this before. I think my mom and dad, or even my siblings, have never seen this before. 13,900 is an insane number when it comes to gun violence. Imagine that being suicide. That would be insane, though. And once again, I said it has never happened before. And I also said more than half of all gun violence deaths lead to suicide. Deaths by suicide. And keep in mind, we talked about this. Let's put up the video, and only 6 people saw the video. You know, I have 22 subscribers. But here's the thing. And more people wanted to look at the NBA Summer League news with over 100 views over that. Here's the thing, suicide is more important than NBA basketball. Here's the thing, the NBA is basketball, that's it. But suicide is about people taking their lives away by themselves. It is not like, just 1-3 can change the whole world. What about suicide? Suicide can change the whole world. But suicide is more important than NBA when it comes to worldwide. Shootings have continuously made headlines in just the first few months of the year. As of May 1st, at least 13,959 people have died from gun violence in the U.S. This year, according to the Gun Violence Archive, which is the average of roughly 115 deaths per each day. Per day, to say 115. That, I don't know how this is happening. I'm looking at these statistics, I'm like, I haven't even looked at it. I'm like, bro, what is going on with the U.S. right now? Even though we're like the second most powerful country, like we are like a powerful country here. We are probably behind Russia. We're like close to China, probably North Korea. We're Kim Jong-un, bro. Of those who died, 491 were teens and 85 were children. So right now, teens right now, in this generation right now, they are, they have like a lot of mental issues, including myself. I do have mental issues. Most of them are brother, bro, but that's most of them are brother, but no one else. So I don't have like that many. Mental issues, but I think right now this generation has a lot. When it comes to that 491 teens who died with this gun violence. Deaths by suicide have made up the vast majority of gun violence deaths this year. There's been an average of about 66 deaths by suicide per day in 2023. It's a lot, once again, per day. The majority of these deaths have occurred in these states. Texas, because of the Uvalde shooting, California, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Illinois, and Louisiana. 7 states. Those 7 states have been the most popular for gun violence. The grim tally of gun violence deaths includes 460 people killed in officer-involved shootings. There have also been 494 unintentional shootings, which, if you don't know what unintentional means, it's like never happens. This should have never happened at all. Never happened at all. The Gun Violence Archive shows there have been 184 mass shootings in 2023 so far, which is defined by the Gun Violence Archive as an incident in which 4 or more victims are shot. So all of these websites and news, they have the same definition for mass shootings. These mass shootings have led to 248 deaths and 744 injuries. So, which means it has led to 1,000 people dying or being injured. So, there have been at least 13 kindergarten to 12th grade school shootings so far this year. becoming a recent incident in Nashville, Tennessee on March 27th, when 3 children and 3 staff members were shot and killed at convent school, a Christian school. Okay, bro, what was this person thinking? This is a Christian school. What is this person doing? For students in preschool through, oh my. That is insane. How is a person, just a random stranger with armed weapon, is gonna start shooting a Christian school that has kids that are in preschool through 6th grade? That is might be the most insane thing I ever heard. I just don't understand. And I'm trying to figure out what reason. Why are these people doing these mass shootings? For what reason? And I think we need to figure out this gun situation right now. Because everyone is. But that's still insane. But let's keep going. In Michigan, 3 students were killed and 5 others were injured when a gunman opened fire at 2 locations on Michigan State University's main campus in East Lansing on February 13th, police said. I also remember a time when one of the students was a fan of James Harden and he got a call from him, which was an emotional one, and also got an invite from James Harden to go to the game, which James Harden, when he was at that game, he went off against the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference semifinals to win. I think it was game 4. Game 3 of game 4 when Philadelphia was at home. So that was a great moment. But let's keep going anyway. California saw 3 mass shootings in a matter of days in January, with one shooting leaving at least 11 people killed and 10 others injured after a gunman opened fire at a dance studio near a Lunar New Year celebration on Monterey Park, California. The U.S. has surpassed 39,000 deaths from gun violence per year since 2014. According to data from Gun Violence Archive, still, gun deaths are down from 2016, 2017, 2018. When the total number of deaths each year surpassed 50,000, there were 44,310 such deaths in 2022. Last June, President Joe Biden signed into law a gun safety package passed by Congress. It was the first gun reform bill from Congress in decades. But advocates for gun reform continue to push for tougher measures. Florida lawmakers, Representative Jared Mowitsky and Representative Maxwell Frost, spoke with GMA 3 this month to mark the 5th anniversary of the tragic shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School and called on Congress to do more to curb gun violence. And I agree. And we are talking about a lot of mass shootings this year, which is going to be on record. I think this gun violence has to stop somehow. 5 years later, we feel like we've made some progress, and then we are reminded that nothing has changed. Mowitsky said, "If you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, free, confidential help is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call or text the National Lifeline at 988. Even if you feel like it, you're not alone." Here's the thing. We have talked about the 988, like these different phone calls. And right now, I think it's these phone calls, no one's paying attention to the phone calls right here. The only thing that most people are paying attention to is 911. News is also saying that mass shootings in the U.S. are on a record pace this year, like I said. And we aren't in August yet. Not even August. We're almost in August. We're not in August yet. We're midway through July. The U.S. is setting a record pace for mass killings in 2023, replaying the horror on a loop roughly once a week so far this year. The carnage has taken 88 lives in 17 mass killings over 1,111 days. Each time, the killers wielded firearms. Only 2009 was marked by as many such tragedies in the same period of time. Children in a Nashville grade school gunned down on an ordinary Monday. Farm workers in North Carolina sprayed with bullets over a workplace grudge. Dancers at a ballroom outside Los Angeles massacred as they celebrated Lunar New Year. In just the last week, 4 partygoers were slain in 3200 in Dadeville, Alabama, when bullets rained down a Sweet 16 celebration. That's, bro. I think that Sweet 16 was when Alabama beat Maryland. And a man just released from prison. Family shot 4 people. Wait, hold up. Oh my God. Let me keep going now. I gotta say something about this one. And a man just released from prison. Family shot 4 people, including his parents, in Bowdoin, Maine, before opening fire on motorists driving a busy. And he got released from prison. No way. Ain't no way a person from prison. Here's that. I think he had to have a record for, doing mass shootings. There's no way, just instantly, as soon as he gets out of prison or jail, he literally just shoots people in the body, bro. That's unbelievable again. Nobody should be shot, said Fred Guttenberg, whose 14-year-old daughter, Jamie, was one of 17 people killed at the Parkland, Florida High School in 2018. I visit my daughter in a cemetery. Outrageous begin to describe how I feel. The Parkland victims are among the 2,842 people who have died in mass killings in the U.S. since 2006, when I was born. According to a database maintained by the Associated Press and USA Today, in partnership with Northeastern University, it counts killings involving 4 more people. Once again, 4 more fatalities, not including the perpetrator. The same standard as the FBI, and tracks a number of variables for each. The bloodshed represents just a fraction of the fatal violence that occurs in the U.S. annually. Yet mass killings are happening with staggering frequency this year, an average of once every 6.53 days. According to an analyst of the AP annual USA Today data, the 2023 numbers stand out even more when they are compared to the tally for full year total since data was collected. The U.S. recorded 30 or fewer mass killings in more than half of the years in the database. So to be at 17 less than a third of the way through is remarkable. But right now, while I take a break, I want you guys to look at these statistics and comment down below which one is the most surprising to you. I'll be taking a minute break. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and just make sure you guys comment below which one was most surprising. Alright, let's start with the echo. And to finally end the video off, I want to look at the most dangerous cities and see the recent mass shootings that have happened so far. But here are the top 5 most dangerous cities here. Number 5 goes to Memphis, Tennessee, which the recent thing was 3 mass shootings in 10 days in Memphis back in February 27. Number 4 was Saginaw, Michigan. Woman shot 3 times in mass shootings at Saginaw back in on June 28th. Number 3 was Monroe, Louisiana. 5 shot at memorial in Monroe. Teen brothers wanted by police. This happened exactly a year ago. Number 2, Mobile, Alabama. 1 dead, 9 injured in mass shooting in Mobile. And also a New Year's Eve mass shooting happened. This happened at the start of the year. And the number 1 dangerous city in the U.S. is Bessemer, Alabama. The deadly shooting in Bessemer, Alabama, which happened last year. Now each of them, here's the thing, each of them having a violent crime rate range of 25.1 to 33.1. And a range of 1 in 39 to 1 in 30 chance to be a victim in those 5 cities. And also often when I looked at Baltimore, Maryland, it was the 18th most dangerous city. And I was looking for any other dangerous city in the top 100 that said Maryland as a state, but it didn't. So it looks like only Baltimore is the only dangerous place in Maryland, but I know for sure there's still more dangerous places out there in Maryland. But here's the thing, it has been a long script. Somehow it only took me like more than 30 minutes just to do it. That's all that I have. So I hope you guys enjoyed this long video. Not that long though, but 30 minutes as always. But as always, until next time, see you later.